Hi, back again on another one, on another shared experience during my time employed working as a Wegmans representative for the Astor Place location. So, previously, I had shared about my next encounter with a fourth Wegmans employee that I worked with and was trained by. And I expressed about my thoughts and feelings about her, which it was not bad. It was good, not bad. And then I shared describing her fabulous appearance, very fabulous. She is magnificent. And then she started off with the first lesson, and the first lesson was she asked about um, what do I know or what that I knew about facing, and I admit I didn't know, so she explained to me, and then I learned even more way strategy how to focus reading just the labels on the box and the price tag label, and not just solely reading the last four without reading the last four barcode numbers. So that was the first lesson about it. Even though it wasn't easy to understand the writings on both sides of the labels because they were written in abbreviation. So it was going to take some time, or say some matter of time to get used to in learning to understand and recognize by remembering these brand names on the labels what looks to me like initial writing, which it's the closest I could say in comparison. So lesson 1 was noted. After she introduced me on that first lesson, we moved on to the next aisle. And the way I can remember was going in the baby aisle section. And as we're working on that aisle, in came lesson 2. And lesson 2 was she informed me to try paying really close attention to the prices on the price tag labels, because there are certain items laid out in display, like the facings of the items that are laid out differently in display. And there are 2 ways the items is faced on the shelves available to be sold to the customers to buy. And let me tell you, it was difficult for me to remember this in correct order to explain in details. Maybe not necessary, but I just want to share how much I was able to learn and be able to process it to my best ability, the best way I could at the time, and also to understand this process. Now, I understood the lesson. I understood everything. The thing was that it wasn't easy for me to process. And like I've said before, and I'll probably say it more than once, 13 years conditioned as a home health aide. That's a long, to me, a long experience. And to adjust from healthcare worker to retail. Oh gosh, I don't know why I'm laughing. Yes, to retail. Oh, like I said, I experienced a whole new foreign environment. Whichever interests or satisfies for the customers is satisfying enough for the company's pockets, because that is one of the things, how the way they make their profits. So these two ways how the products are faced in display and sold on the shelves for purchases, or more like there's two ways how the products are faced and displayed and sold on the shelves and purchases, something like that. So anyways, there's like a wide variety of items which comes in different forms, but all one thing in common. One facing display shelf for a value pack item purchase. And where these very same value size items can be transformed into another facing display shelf for individual item purchases. Like, for instance, the beverages. Some is received and delivered into large sum amount supplies of the value size items, so that it'll be enough for the two different facing displays. A facing display shelf for the value size item purchase, and from that very same value size item, which that can be taken out from the supply or off from the shelves, of the sale floor, break them down one by one for another facing display shelf, sold individual item purchase, just as long there's enough supplies. Okay, so yeah. Oh my goodness, I have no idea how that turned out to be. I mean, like, what a freaking disaster. But that will be shared to say about later. So moving on. Now, another example. There are some product name items that have a variety, again, but this time flavors. A variety flavors. But here is the thing. From that product name item with the variety flavors, one or more of the flavors, and not all of them though, is select out from these variety flavor items for those two different facing display shelf. So what happens when the product name item of the variety flavors is shipped in? And this is just an estimated guess. There is to be a supply count amount. Again, I'm just guessing. 3 each of the variety flavors. And for the select flavor from the variety, that is to have more supply count amount than the rest of the other variety flavors from that product name item, so that it could be enough for the two different facing display shelf, where in my best guess it could be a supply of maybe 8 to 10 of it. So yeah, and as usual, the usual process on the facing display shelf, one for the value size purchasing, and the rest of the other leftover supplies for individual purchases. The value pack, it can be like shelved between 3 to 8, and the individual where to take from the supply of value pack items. Rip the box covering in half, where that can be shelved between, because it's like a 6 or 8 pack box. So like multiply individual count, if you're good at math, by 6 and 8, and it will be like a sum of 18 to 48 individual count on the shelf. So I'm just guessing. So, and that could be possible to my experience. So that's what I've learned during the process. These kind of displays can be located either like on one shelving area or separately, like located separately. So yeah. But it wasn't an easy, recognizable step process. Like, for instance, for example, I'm gonna like fast forward ahead at the Astor Place location. Aisle 3B, and in aisle 3B, near like the middle row, or the second row of the aisle. Well, like there are like 3 rows. There's the first one where you like customers enter through the section of the grocery, and then there's a second row, which that's the middle, and the third that's like the very end of like the wall where the papers, the paper towels, toilet papers, those things. So near the middle row, aisle 3B, and it's the spreads, the jams, jellies, peanut and almond butters spread, and the Nutella. Can't forget about Nutella. Also, for some reason, my brain keeps giving me the vision that, like, what's it called? Fluff? I think the marshmallow spreads. It keeps telling me that it's in aisle 2, but no, it have to be in aisle 3B, in the very bottom shelf. It just wouldn't make any sense why my brain telling me that. Yeah, but in the very bottom shelf, because it's a spread as well. So anyway, these peanut butter spread packets, there's the name brand one, but there's also the Wegmans peanut butter packets. I'm sorry, they're not peanut butter, they're almond butters. Almond spread packets. The Wegman version, but there's also a brand version of almond butter packet spread. But I'm not going to search through my brain to remember the name. So, but it has like the drawing of the almond in the middle, one in the jar and also in a packet. The wrapping label and the packet is white as well. The jar have a white cap covering. But anyway, Wegmans have an almond butter spread version. So anyways, what I had noticed, I believe I had noticed it after Thanksgiving. I believe that was the time. So what was it at that time? Someone did the facing incorrect of the almond butter packet, the Wegman brand one. And the person, and let me say, it was laid out as individual purchase. Instead, one for individual purchase and the other for value pack purchase. Someone was not paying close attention. My best guess, someone probably didn't go through the training. So before I forget where the Wegmans almond butter packet is located, it's the second shelf near the second row of aisle 3B. So like I was saying, someone wasn't paying that close attention to it, or maybe not well. I don't know, but I had noticed it, and I tried to correct it. One box for the value pack and the other box for the individual purchase. Those two different facings. And I don't believe it was after Thanksgiving. It was probably a little before that. So anyway, what I was hoping somebody amongst the team would notice the correct way to face that shelf of the almond spread butters. But whenever I go past through that aisle, I will notice that someone kept displaying them incorrect. And I tried. I thought someone would follow along after and realize, like, oh, okay, this is how it works. It makes sense. This one costs less and this one costs more. Okay, understandable. But no, that didn't get to that person's mind attention enough.